Bring on another monkey!
That's my boy. I love hecklers. Give him a brochure. Actually bring him on board. It's wonderful to see so many people here in the beautiful city of Beverley. I am not very familiar with the East Riding. You tell from my accent, I'm not from these parts. But you know, within 10 years, if this industry gets a foothold, you won't recognise the East Riding. It'll look like that picture there. There will be pads every few hundred yards on a grid. 8 pads per square mile. This is no transition fuel. They know that there is enough gas in the Boland Shale to keep this industry going for at least 30 years. At least 30 years. The fact that the gas is there is not in dispute. The reality is that we do not have a safe technology to exploit this resource. We need to look at what's been going on everywhere else in the world, and I mean everywhere where this abomination has been unleashed. It has resulted in the contamination of the water, of the soil and of the air, and has led to horrendous negative health impacts on those communities. This isn't hearsay. The evidence is there for everyone to see for themselves. And as the other speakers have said this morning, the critical element is to encourage people to look at this for themselves. I spent 20 years in the oilfield services industry. I know firsthand what this industry does. And the reality is they don't give a damn. The reason that the government and the industry think they can do this is because they think they can ride roughshod over the community, just like they have in Queensland. In the last 5 years, over 5,500 wells have been drilled in southern Queensland in an area the size of the UK. It has decimated southern Queensland. Bentley is just south of the border between Queensland and New South Wales, and the people of New South Wales have watched the devastation of Queensland, and they've said it's not going to happen here. And that's why they had up to 10,000 people there some weekends, and eventually the New South Wales government realised they had a problem. And they prevented, in fact they withdrew Metgasco's licence on the grounds that they obviously hadn't consulted appropriately with the community. Consultation here is a joke. It's a box-ticking exercise. At Balcombe, 2 years ago, Quadrilla held a public meeting. The room was packed. There was 400 people in the meeting, and eventually the Quadrilla chief executive lost his job over that meeting. But on the Quadrilla website the following day, it said, public meeting held at Balcombe, nothing significant to report. It's a box-ticking exercise. The problem we have in this country right now is that all the major parties, with the exception of the Green Party and Plaid Cymru, and I don't think Plaid Cymru will be putting an MP up in Beverley, all the other parties right now are pro-fracking. We have less than 300 days to get a change in the political landscape, because otherwise on May the 8th next year, whomever walks into number 10 is going to claim that they got elected on a manifesto that included the exploitation of unconventional hydrocarbons. This has to be changed. The Labour Party need to do 2 things to absolutely guarantee that they are in office next year. The first, of course, is to review the leadership.
He's doing a training course.
Okay. The second is that if the Labour Party comes out and goes absolutely anti-fracking, then I believe that they actually will be almost a shoo-in. And of course, if they do actually change the leadership, it will be absolutely guaranteed. Meanwhile, West Newton is the front line in this country on the fracking campaign. Did anybody see the Look North footage or the YouTube footage of the trucks rolling in?
Yes.
Yeah, that is what is coming to pretty much every community in the East Wolds if this goes ahead. Yeah, I can interpret the Rathlin jargon and Rathlin say we're not going to frack, we're doing a mini fall-off test. The reality is the Rathlin have no intention of doing anything more than establishing the magnitude of the resources here, and then they will sell to somebody else, like Digas, Dart Energy and iGas, and they will come and frack it. So the people of East Wolds and from further afield will be converging on West Newton, and while still of course protecting Crawberry Hill, but they will be converging on West Newton to let the politicians know that there is no social licence, and to let the investors know that basically they might as well throw their money down a black hole.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very, very exciting time, because there has never been an issue like this. Probably the closest there's ever been to this in British politics is perhaps poll tax. But this issue is uniting people from right across the social, the political, the philosophical and the religious spectrum. You know, we may not agree on very much else, but the one thing that we do all agree on is that this abomination has no place in this densely populated country.